Good morning, piano parents. It's been a while since I recorded a podcast. I don't know if you have been able to catch any of the episodes over the summer. The last several weeks have been additional kind of bonus questions that I asked several of my guests from the past year. I asked them about a parent do-over, and those episodes have been airing over the summer while I've been enjoying vacations and weekend trips to the beach and just all the fun things that summer affords us. But it's time for me to get back into a routine of recording podcasts regularly. I had all of those stockpiled, and so anyway, I'm a little bit nervous to do another podcast again. It's kind of funny how I feel a little jittery about restarting something after I've taken a little break from it. Your piano kids may feel a little bit the same way. If they've had a summer break, or even if they're like my students, we have taken maybe 3 weeks off since the last lesson of summer before we start back up in the fall semester. And it just takes a little effort to get back into the routine, back into the schedule. And your schedule is going to be different this year than it was last year. Anyway, to say all that by way of introduction, welcome back. I'm welcoming myself back and give myself a pat on the back for not procrastinating and just getting back in the saddle. Back in the spring or mid-April of this past year, I recorded an episode called Spring Cleaning, Cleaning Out Your Music Bag. And that was episode 329, and I'll have that linked up in the show notes. And I also did a companion video to go along with that episode. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm recording audio, but then I'm also recording a video because today I decided I needed to clean off my piano. And this may be something that you and your piano kid need to do at home as well. Whether you have an acoustic piano like I have, or if you even have a digital piano, a keyboard, it still needs to be dusted off and decluttered and just sort of reset for the new school year. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I don't think it'll take very long, so I'm not going to set a timer, but anyway, we'll see if we can get this done in about 15 minutes or less. Anytime you clean anything out, I'm told, it's best to remove everything, just completely gut the room. I used to watch a TV show called Clean Sweep. It was on the Learning Channel, and back when the Learning Channel was actually about learning stuff instead of stuff that I'm not interested in seeing anymore. But this Clean Sweep TV program would have the homeowners take everything out of a certain room and then sort everything once you got it cleaned out, maybe repaint the room or clean up the room, make whatever repairs you would need to, and then decide what is going back into the room. So I'm thankful we don't have an entire room to do, but I do want to take off. I've got so many tchotchkes on my desktop, on my piano top. I may tell you a little bit more about some of these as we go, but right now we're just in declutter mode. And I have a little Lego piano set that my daughter put together for me. I'm not going to take, I've got this lamp and a stack of books. I'm not going to take that entire stack off just because I want to try to make this a little bit easy, user-friendly. I've got a bucket of pencils that I use in my lessons. Let's clear that off. Over the course of time as I teach piano lessons, I may pull out different games or different teaching objects, manipulatives, and things like that. And sometimes in the heat of the moment, they just get set on the top of the desk, on the top of the piano. They don't get put back exactly where they belong. So this is a great opportunity. I'm finding more and more stuff and I don't have places to put it. This is a great opportunity to take all of those out, kind of do an inventory of what you want to keep, what needs to actually be put away in its proper place, And what is going to come back to the piano? Yuck, the top of this piano is dusty. It's a good thing we're doing this today. Let me get rid of these. I also write little post-it notes to myself, reminders that maybe if a student got a book, then I'll just write it on a post-it note, and then when I get to my computer later, I can log that on my records. So I need to save those post-it notes. Maybe I'll tell you how I use a little die, singular, in piano lessons. What else do I need to take off? I've got some little dogs that I use, dogs and cars that I use when I'm teaching the piano geography. I have some cards. I'll tell you a little bit more about these cards when we're restocking the piano. I hope they don't fall off. Here are some rhythm flashcards. Let me get those off. Checking behind the music rack because all kinds of stuff falls back behind there. I like to give my students stickers whenever they pass a piece of music. So I keep a few pages of stickers on the right side of my piano where it's easily accessible to me. But for now, I'm going to clear those off so that I have a completely free area, mostly free. I left these books on the middle of my, in the middle of my music rack, holding up a lamp. I'm not going to move those right now. Okay, so I have cleared everything off. It just occurred to me that I should have taken a before picture and then an after picture, but that's okay. And I do keep a lot of stuff on the top of my piano. Honestly, if I didn't keep these decorative things and things that I use in the lesson, if I didn't keep those on the piano, I'm sure it would get covered up with stacks of music. So I'm going to have stuff up there one way or the other. I guess it's up to you what kinds of things go on top of your piano or on your keyboard. Okay, so now I have everything, most everything cleared off, and I'm going to dust the actual cabinet of my piano first, and then I'll dust the keyboard. I don't suppose it really matters. My thought process is whatever dust is on the cabinet, the wooden part of the piano, when I dust that off, if it lands on the keyboard, and then the keyboard is the last thing that I clean, that gives me a chance to get rid of that too. If I did the keyboard first and then the cabinet of the piano, I might have to go back and do the keyboard again. As far as cleaning or dusting the outer shell, the cabinet of your piano, you could really get away with just using a microfiber cloth, some sort of soft cloth that's not going to scratch the surface, and that might be enough. If I just run a dust cloth over a few of the surfaces, it's getting rid of the most of the dust. I do have some furniture cleaner here, some furniture polish that I'm going to use, and the recommendation is that you don't spray anything directly on your piano. That's especially true if you have a keyboard. You wouldn't want to spray a lot of fluid into the computer mechanism inside the keyboard. Even if you sprayed it on the cabinet, it's going to leak down into the keyboard. So the thought process is that you spray the cloth away from the piano, and then you can clean the piano. So I'm going to dust. Oh, it smells good and lemony. I've got another stack of books over here on the left side of my piano that I just left up here. I'm going to dust those. I've got a clock. Something fell off. So I missed something. Okay, so I've got that dusted. Let me work through some of the other sides. I'm going to get some more spray. Spray the cloth, not the piano itself. Let me do the other side. Ooh, I could write my name in all this dust. There we go. I usually joke with my piano tuner that whenever he comes to tune the pianos, I dust the top of my piano off, whether it needs it or not, once a year. It needs it more often than that, wouldn't you agree? Yes. Okay, I'm dusting off the lamp and this stack of books. I'm going to dust the edges of the piano. Anywhere, any surface is an opportunity to catch dust and fingerprints. Don't forget, if you have a music rack, to pull the music rack back so that you can dust behind it as well. So let me close that down. Get way back down. I'm going to go on the music rack itself. Dust all of that. I can see where there are fingerprints that this polish is polishing off, almost like erasing. Okay, that looks much better, and it smells lemony fresh. I'm going to also dust in front of the piano keys, well, the fall board, and then directly in front of the piano keys, the wooden casing that they rest in. Okay, now then, for the keys themselves, the black and white keys, I'm choosing, first of all, you can see how dirty this microfiber cloth is. I have decided to get a second cloth, a brand new fresh one. I don't guess I would have to, that's just what I'm choosing to do for this demonstration. Since, I believe since the 1960s, sometime within the last 50 or 60 years, piano keys are made of plastic. A long time ago, if you get a piano that's over 75 years old, maybe even 65, they might have been made with ivory, and I'm glad that that is something that has been outlawed. That's not the way modern pianos are made. They use plastic keys. And so to clean those, you could just use glass cleaner, just a regular alcohol-based cleaner. I'm choosing to use just a disinfectant today. But once again, you're going to spray the cloth away from the piano. Looks like this is almost out of juice. I need to put that on my grocery list to buy more disinfectant spray. And just apply it to the piano keys. This is one of my favorite pieces to play. You may have heard this joke where you're just laying it across the keys and dusting as you play. There's a funny meme that goes around sometimes that is a picture of sheet music, and it's just got these clusters of notes on the staff, and that's what it is you press the black keys, press the white keys, and you're dusting them off as you go. Oh, that's fun. And that's pretty much it. Some of you may have different thoughts, different suggestions on products to use to clean, but as far as I have been taught, as far as I understand, you would use whatever kind of furniture polish you would use on any other piece of wooden furniture. And then as far as the keys go, some sort of alcohol-based window cleaner would be just fine. Even for a digital keyboard, I would probably just use the disinfectant alcohol-based window cleaner, but always spray the cloth and then apply the cloth to dust off everything on the body of the keyboard as well as the keys. So now it's time to restock, and I need to decide what all is going back. Of course, I've got my little pencil holder. I use different colored pencils when I'm interacting with my students and writing notes for them, so I'll put that back on the edge. I have these stickers that I've been using. I like to buy just different sort of incentive stickers. Sometimes they have a music theme, sometimes they're whatever popular character, cartoon character. I have these that are kind of cute. But these pages have been pretty well picked over. So I think I'm not going to put these back. I've got a little area in the other part of my studio where students can color or do some quiet activities while their sibling has their lesson. So I think I'll put these over there, and I'll stock this area with some fresh stickers, some brand new full pages. I do need to put back Oh, I was going to tell you about those cards. I do need to put back my Note Speed cards. This is a fun game that is based off of the card game Speed, and it was adapted for music by my friend and fellow Texas teacher, Tara Cunningham. And anyway, I'll put a link to her website in the show notes for you. And Tara, if you're listening, I would love to have you come on the show sometime if you're ever available to visit with me and talk about how you came about adapting these cards and how you use them in your studio. So anyway, I do use these Note Speed cards a lot. I also have a deck of cards. These are called Wacky Eights, and these are by my friend, another fellow Texas teacher. Her name is Heather Rathnow. You may use her Theory Time books, and I'll have a link to her website for you in the show notes. I don't mind passing along these great resources and giving some attention to some things my Texas teacher friends are doing. What else needs to go back? I need my colored pencils. We use those to mark music and check off different things that we've accomplished. It's amazing how much dust keeps coming back. So I'll put those there. And I have these are little bitty, I think a piano parent got these little dog characters. They're what you might use in a little dollhouse, just little miniature dogs. I've got 6 different types of dogs. This is a collie. And I teach the music alphabet on the piano geography by referring to the 2 black keys as a dog house, and so we'll put the dog inside the dog house. So I have a little bin with all of the dogs, and then I also have some little squishy, these little squishy things were popular several years ago. On the video you can see that I'm squishing this little car. There's a different character. I'm squishing him, and I put those in between the groups of 3 black keys. And so 2 black keys is a doghouse, 3 black keys is a garage. And I did an episode about how I teach the piano geography way back in the beginning. I think it might have been episode 003. I'll look that up for sure and link that in the show notes. But I use these often, so that's going to go back. I do need my business cards. I like to keep those accessible for parents to refer. And then, of course, those picture frames. I think I'll put those back in just a little bit. I'm going to dust them off as well before I put them back on the piano. But I hope as you are getting ready to gear up for another year of piano lessons, I hope that you're considering your schedule and how you're going to fit in some regular practice. The more practice you can do more regularly, the more progress you're going to make, the more confidence you're going to feel, the more enjoyment you're going to get out of playing music. And then I hope you're taking some time to get your piano ready. This is a great time to get it all dusted off and decluttered and reorganized. And if you didn't hear that episode 329, when we did some spring cleaning for your music bag, go back and listen to that and clean out your music bag. And going through some of your old music might spark some memories and might give you the energy to revisit some old piano, I started to say piano friends. In a way, your old music is a friend. You remember not knowing it and then getting acquainted and then learning it. And so this would be a good time to go back and kind of refresh your memory with playing those different pieces. And then be ready to greet your piano teacher with a clean bag and a fresh attitude. And I hope that you have a wonderful piano year, and keep tuning into the Piano Parent Podcast with different episodes and topics that I hope will encourage you along the way. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.